All right, don't let us get one. The Dallas Mavericks win Game 4, 122-84, the third largest margin of victory in an NBA Finals game ever. Harrison Graham, Jeffrey Cooperstein as the Mavericks win by 38. They were up 13 after one and really never looked back. They were up, I believe, 26 at halftime, 61-35, and just dominated from start to finish. Won all four quarters of this game. We're going to talk about this one. A lot of you guys are going to be watching this video on Saturday. We'll get you ready for Game 5, which is on Monday as well. So let's get to it. But get the dubs in the chat.
Spam the dubs.
Listen, you don't want to get swept. So
Never.
If nothing else, you're on the board. And, hey, one game at a time.
One at a time.
One possession at a time. It's going to take something historic to win this series, but you're on the board, and this is a team, Coop, that is 3-0 in road Game 5s in this postseason.
Absolutely. They're very good in Game 5s. It's a situation that Luka and the Mavs feel really comfortable in, so anything can happen. We were talking, look, I woke up on Friday morning, and I was like, you know what? I think this team can win Game 4. You take it one game at a time. You accomplish Game 4. Now you move on to Game 5, where you've historically been very good, and we'll see what happens from there, man. I mean, you go have a good day tomorrow before you head out to Boston, take the rest, which the Mavs got plenty of there because Luka and Kyrie didn't play in the fourth quarter. And see what happens in Game 5. One game at a time, one quarter at a time. You never know what can happen.
I thought Luka set the tone tonight. He's been hearing the noise, which mostly has been unfair. Small shreds of truth from national media members, fans, etc., but I think it was largely overblown. But regardless, he wanted to set the tone. He played really well, 29, 5, and 5. Other than not shooting the three ball well, which he's now missed 14 in a row now.
He was 0 of 6 in Game 3 and 0 of...
One of 7,
but
he missed his last 6. He's missed 14 threes in a row, but really good tonight. I thought the defense was better. Forced multiple turnovers on that end, so that was good to see. I mean, he had 29, 5, and 5 and didn't play the final 15 minutes of the game, so easily could have been a 40-point game for him. He was really good, and, he's not going to go out like that, so good to see him set the tone tonight and really kind of never look back.
Yeah, credit to him. I mean, he had a really solid game, even if the numbers don't show it efficiency-wise. I mean, 12 of 26 isn't bad, but
just under 50.
No, he came out there. He wasn't going to let the Mavs get swept, and they at least showed some pride tonight by winning this game. And he kind of, I don't know if silencing the haters and the doubters is the correct word because you're still down 3-1 in the series, but
he found some self-motivation.
Yep, he definitely heard and saw the chatter, and so good for him for putting his best foot forward and having a really good game. Kyrie Irving, his numbers look better than I thought he played, to be honest with you, Harrison.
He had a good first quarter, a terrible second quarter, and then a really good third quarter to kind of really put the game away.
Missed a couple of bunnies at the rim.
He's missed a lot of layups in this series, man. And look, layups loose turn. Like, a lot of them have been, contested, but shots he normally makes, which he's going to have to make if they're going to win this series. But he went on, a quick 6-0 run on his own in the third quarter, which really put the game away for good. I think it got it up to over 30 points. So good, not great for him, but obviously in a game like this, you didn't need anything special, and he was pretty solid overall. And look,
I think this is where the game swung.
He gets another crack in Boston, man. I mean, I think his
You're right.
I think his performances in Boston were pretty embarrassing, if I'm going to be honest.
They were terrible.
And now he gets another opportunity, and nothing like the present to go out there and have a 30-plus point game and bring Dallas back to the AAC for Game 6.
Look, after his awful performance in Game 2, he told the crowd he was going to be back there for Game 5, and they're going to remember that. So he's got to be ready to go.
It's going to be hostile.
I don't think he was ready to go in Games 1 and 2. So let's see if he is for Game 5. He's got 2 days to digest this thing. Where I really think the Mavs kind of won the game tonight, Harrison, was at the big man spot. Excellent game from Dereck Lively once again.
How about him hitting a corner 3 right after he checks in?
His first bucket, a corner 3, his first attempt at a 3 as an NBA player. And I know the Mavs have been working on that with him in practice and in his shooting drills before games. Never in a million years did I expect him to do that during an NBA Finals game. But he was really good. 7 offensive rebounds for Lively as well.
He was awesome.
Really impacted the game in a positive light, as did Daniel Gafford.
Yeah, I thought both bigs were good. I mean, 11 and 12 for Lively. Gafford, he went 7 and 4, so you add that up, 18 and 16 between the two.
Yep.
I mean, that's pretty good
Gonna
stuff.
work.
A couple of blocks between those two guys as well. So they were good, and I think they're going to have to continue to play big for you to win this series, especially if Porzingis comes back. I mean, he was apparently available tonight. I don't know how much of a cat and mouse game that was by Joe
Was he
Mazzulla.
available?
Do you think he plays Game 5? I'll put you on the spot right now.
No, I don't think he does.
Plays?
I don't think he does.
Okay, interesting. If he does, I mean, look, if he's like he was the first two games, he's been an excellent rim protector in this series. So you're going to need Lively and Gafford to match that if he returns. But if not, I think you got the clear advantage down low if Porzingis is out.
If he's out, I absolutely think you have the advantage down low. And you just got to be physical. Like, the Mavs found the mismatch there with Gafford. They had him posting up guards a couple of times, and it really worked out. So if you can find that matchup once again in Game 5, you try to do anything you can to try to exploit that, and maybe Gafford has found something there in the post where he can take advantage of that smaller guard.
Tonight was a bit of an outlier game, obviously, but you out-rebound Boston 52-31, and you win the points in the paint 60-26.
That is crazy.
Like, if Porzingis isn't in there, you got to keep attacking the rack. I mean, it's pretty
100%.
simple. And you shot better tonight from three as well. From the three-point line, 15-37, and a lot of those were just late jacks by the bench, although Tim Hardaway did make 5 in a row, which was crazy.
We'll talk about him in just a second.
We'll kind of throw him at the end because it was in garbage time. But we got to shout out Dante Exum, man.
Yes, indeed.
Dante Exum had 10 points. It easily could have been 15 because he smoked a layup and his heel was out of bounds on a 3 that ended up being overturned during a TV timeout. He's been pretty good, man. The last 2 games, he showed you something. He didn't get a look in the second half. Tonight he did. Played well. I think he's your 8th man right now going into Game 5 after Lively and Green off the bench. I think he's your next guy. I expect him to give you some run moving forward, especially if he can keep making shots. The three-point ball looks a lot better all of a sudden.
What Exum gives you is a dynamic that you really haven't had in the postseason. And let's face it, I think Dante Exum's had a very disappointing postseason after a fantastic regular season.
Yep.
The guy, he can shoot respectable from 3 as he has this season.
He can handle the ball a little bit.
He handles the ball. That's what he gives you the most. He gives you a third ball handler on the court next to Luka and Kyrie. And I think that's an underrated thing that the Mavs have been missing. He can also play a little bit of wing defense on some 2s and 3s. Look, if Exum's firing on all cylinders, it is another piece to the puzzle that Jason Kidd has to use.
Now, the question is, because it all came in garbage time.
Correct.
Does Tim Hardaway Jr. get another look in a meaningful spot? I don't think he gets it over Exum or Green, but maybe if there's a spot in Game 5 in the second quarter where you need to find some offense, maybe you give him a look. I don't think this is anything you can bank on. Now, I think there's something to be said for a streaky shooter to see some go in, and he saw some go in, so that's a positive. Is that something that carries over? Again, I don't think you can bank on that, but maybe, just maybe, he's at least an option again if you're Jason Kidd.
Yeah, I was thinking about it during the fourth quarter. Is Jason Kidd going to overthink this and go back to Tim Hardaway?
I don't think you go to him over Exum or Green, right?
I don't think so either.
I think that'd be a little crazy.
Look, I'm glad Tim Hardaway made 5 threes. I think it's great that he saw them go in and he knows that he can still play basketball in this league. But if you're Jason Kidd, I think you stick with what worked when the game was still in doubt, and that's what you roll with.
Look, if you go to Exum for 4 or 5 minutes and it's a disaster, maybe Hardaway gets the next look, like something like that. But I don't think all of a sudden he leapfrogs as your 7th or 8th man.
Exactly.
I just think that's, you got to factor in the situation. It was a preseason game in the fourth quarter.
Yes, it was. Markieff Morris got in the game. Shout out Keith. He got a bucket. Our boy Omax got in the game. That was his first minutes in the postseason because he was dealing with the sprained ankle.
No, he got in late in one of those Clippers games.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
He looked
Apologies.
pretty good. He made it, but yeah, he hasn't played in a while. Good to see him run around, but the 10th thing will be interesting though.
It'll be very interesting to see. I don't think he's in the initial rotation, but who knows what Jason Kidd's thinking about that.
He's probably ahead of Hardy, but that's about it.
I think he is ahead of Hardy, yeah. But Exum's your third guy off the bench, so it goes Lively, Kleba, Exum.
No, I think Green's ahead.
Lively, Green, Exum, and then Klebo will obviously play as well. So that's the 9 you're going to play there in Game 5.
Guy. Tim's probably the 10th guy. Yeah.
Well, the Mavs win, Harrison. They win. They're down 3-1 in the series. It's one game at a time. But do you believe that the Mavericks can win this series now? Yes or no? Type it down in the comment section. If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here, like Luka said.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's obviously never happened before. I still think Boston's a better team. But, look, when you have the best player, you're never out of it.
Never out of it.
Now, winning 4 in a row would be a lot. You're going to need some help from Boston. They're going to have to miss some shots like they did tonight.
Yep.
But I do feel decent about their chances to win Game 5 and get back to Game 6. They've been great on the road. They lost the first 2 games of this series on the road, so based on their history, you would think they would win this one. Got to go out there and do it. I want to get a couple of thoughts, things that I think tangibly can and need to carry over for them to claw back into this game.
Let's hear it.
I think they're officially back into the series if they win Game 5. I don't think they're really in it yet. I think this just avoided the ending. If you win Game 5, it's officially a series. You're at home for Game 6, and then if you get to a Game 7, anything can happen. Couple of things. One, for the first time this series, both your centers played well.
Yep.
That has to continue, and I think it can. We've seen it be the case for a lot of the playoffs. 2, you got good minutes from your bench. That I'm not so sure about. Is that going to continue?
Will
3
that
games
carry
it
over?
happened, 1 game it has. We'll see. So someone beyond Lively on the bench is gonna have to contribute. And then 3, Luka and Kyrie are gonna have to be very good. We know that.
I think it's the Kyrie even more so, going back to Boston for Game 5.
Because Luka's average games, he's still gonna score in the mid-high 20s.
Exactly.
And he's gonna do his thing.
Is Kyrie going to have a game where you're like, oh shit, this is Kyrie Irving?
Yeah, I mean, look, when the Cavs were down 3-1 to the Warriors, was it Game 5 at Golden State where he and LeBron both had 41?
Yep.
You might need one of those games from Luka and Kyrie where they both go insane for you to have a chance to win this series. Maybe that is Game 5.
I'd agree.
I'll say this, Coop. I expect Boston to play desperate in Game 5. They do not want to fly back to Dallas. They just got beat by 40. I know it's one game. I expect them to go balls to the walls trying to close this thing out on Monday night. I'd be shocked if they – because tonight, once it got to, middle third, they were like, we're done. I don't think that's happening on Monday.
You're going to get the Celtics' best shot, man. I mean, this team won 64 games in the regular season and to this point have cruised through the postseason. So it is going to be as tough of a battle as you've ever faced in Game 5. I just hope the Mavs are ready for it.
All right. We will see you guys.
We'll see you Monday. More basketball to be played.
If there's big news on Sunday – Kristaps update, etc.
We'll have you updated.
We'll hit you guys with a video, but if not, we'll see you on Monday night.
All right.